So, Brock Holyoak is the blue collar founder of NewFit, a 99 cents a month hit app built to make fitness brutally simple. No gym, no equipment, no excuses. After building Desert Valley Enterprises from the ground up over 14 years ago, Brock brings a blunt, comedic take on work ethic, family, fitness, and America's excuse culture. Disclaimer: any of the guidance offered by the podcast host, myself, or the podcast guests is our own guidance. We are not liable for any of the actions the podcast listener decides to do. Welcome to the show today, Brock. Glad to have you on.
Thanks, Johnny. I appreciate it. I love what you're doing with the podcast. It's awesome, man. I like it. So for all of you old asses like me that don't really know how social media works, go on. If you guys follow Johnny, go on and like and subscribe, because that makes his reach a lot better. I'm one of those old guys that don't understand how that shit works. So now now that I'm doing this a little bit more full time, I get it. But yeah, you're scrolling anyway. You're doom scrolling. Just click the button, subscribe, and it's going to help you get your message out a lot better. So
I appreciate that.
Appreciate you having me on.
Oh,
hopefully we can make some good content and give some value to your listeners.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. So I'm going to really enjoy what Brock has got to share today, and I know the listener's going to get a lot of value. So Brock, I always love to know, like, when people get into like health and fitness, and particularly when they're driven to help people with this area, like you've created your app, you really obviously make fitness, try and make it as simple as possible, it sounds like, rather than kind of people having blocks in their way. What has got you so driven into helping people with fitness and making fitness a lot easier for everyone?
So I think fitness is like one of those industries that you get a ton of people in. You get a bunch of fitness gurus and coaches that come in and they just overcomplicate for the sense of overcomplicating, so that and they can sell you like an expensive solution. And it just gets overwhelming because there's so many different diets, there's so many different programs, there's so many different workouts, and everyone's like, well, like, what do I do? Like there's so many things coming at them from so many different directions. And it's like, the reality is, like, it's the simple basic things that move the needle. So like, what are the basic principles of getting fit? Like, eat better, move more, be consistent. Those are basically the only three things that you have to do to get in shape. And so for me, it's like, if you are focused on your health, like I kind of say focus wherever you're starting from. Like, if you start with your fitness, you start with your health, it's a needle that moves a lot quicker. So it's a lot more noticeable. So if you own a business and you're like, okay, well, I want to go from 6 figures to 7 figures, that's going to take a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years to achieve. And in that process, you're actually probably going to go backwards before you go forwards, because you're having to invest so much money back into the business to grow it that you're actually making less. And so when you look at it from that aspect, you're like, well, I'm losing money. Even though you are growing, you're losing money in your head. And so focusing on your health is one that it moves the needle a lot quicker. So like, just doing simple things, eating better. If you took like 1 or 2 of your highest calorie, lowest nutrient meals and replaced it with a lower calorie, higher nutrient meal, you're going to probably see a pound or 2 a week of fat loss just in substituting out lower calorie meals. Going for a walk, like go for a 30 or 45-minute walk every week. And just doing those 2 things consistently, like you're going to get on the scale every week and you're like, man, I lost 2 pounds. Lost another 2 pounds. And like over a month, it's like, man, I lost 8 or 10 pounds. It's like, this shit's actually, it's not hard. It's pretty easy. And so for me, it's like, don't overcomplicate things, dumb it down to like the simplest forms. And then it's a lot easier to process. And when you can dial in like your health and fitness, and you can get used to pushing through some of those hard things, like the physically hard things, those translate into like every other aspect of your life, which is, work, business, family, fitness, faith, everything. It just changes your mindset to where you can perform better, or to a better version of yourself in all aspects of your life.
I agree. Yeah, I'm totally with that, because when I'm on top of my like nutrition, and not, it's not that it means it's perfect, but nutrition, eating better than I am. Eating better than, let me say that again. So eating well, like the majority of the time, my brain just completely went dead then. All right. So, eating well a lot and then drinking a lot of water and exercising. It's like the ideas, the kind of like the actions in my other areas of life seem to flow a lot more. So having that foundation for me of the right energy is really, really key. And I like how you say it's just like one thing because people so much like overwhelmed with what do I start with and starting with their health. It's yeah, I love what you're saying there.
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, and everybody has something, like everybody has at least one meal or one drink that they can look at and be like, okay, I can really replace that. Like a lot of people are on the go, so their first meal it's like a gas station donut and, a sugary coffee or something like that, or they go through a drive-through and get a value meal and it's like, well, if you just replace those with, something better, now you've got, say you come in with a black coffee and three whole eggs and three pieces of bacon, you're going to be more full because you're switching out that lower nutrition meal that's like higher calorie. You're going to replace that with a better quality meal. And generally lower calorie food that's better quality, you can eat more of it because it's lower calorie. So you're going to be full more so than you are from like a donut.
Mm.
So I think a lot of people's fears, it's like, well, I've got to go on these diets and I got to starve myself. And it's like, for the most part, when you clean your meals up, you're able to eat more volume. And so you're not going to be as hungry as if you're eating crappier foods.
Yeah.
And you're saving all the calories, which is basically in the end coming off as fat loss.
Yeah.
So
It makes a lot of sense. For the individual who may be thinking like I get it, like I need to eat better, I need to like exercise more, but it's like always hard work and so boring, to do that all the time, and I just want to have some fun. What kind of would your guidance be to that individual?
So like with our fitness app, we created it to where it's like super simple workouts.
Mm,
So the point is it's like a follow along fitness app. So we created it like cartoon-esque, video game style-esque
nice.
app to where like you get in there and you've got a video game character that you're following along with and working out with. We've condensed everything into like a strength conditioning and cardio conditioning movement. So, and then we've condensed everything down to like 20 to 25-minute workouts. So it's like you can literally go in and do a workout in the time it takes you to watch an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. Like pretty simple, right? The moves, like you can do it in your living room. You don't need any equipment. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to worry about being weird. Like I don't know how any of this works. I don't want to feel like the weirdo that's doing curls on the leg machine or whatever, like I don't want to feel weird. So it's like you can do it in your living room, you can do it in 20 to 25 minutes. And the cost of it's like we've narrowed the cost down to where it's like you can find the monthly cost walking through the Home Depot parking lot. You know what I mean? Like it's $1 a month. So it kind of eliminates all the excuses that anyone would have. It's like, well, it's expensive. I don't want to buy a gym membership. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to look weird at a gym. I don't want to have equipment. It's just it's all there and it's simple and it reduced the time down to the point where it's like 20 25 minutes. I think you can find time to get in and do that, and it just gives you that time back. It gives you like the ability to go in and do the workouts and then just be done. So we've simplified it down to probably the most basic form and easy to do.
Simplicity is key, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everyone likes to overcomplicate things, and I don't know, I don't know what that process is, but it's like there's kind of, I think with anything in life, like you get people that are now, especially now, because information is like abundant, and so you get people that go on there, and it's like, well, I need to watch a motivational video, and then I need to watch a whole bunch of informational videos, and so we get into this motivational informational porn where we're just
Mm.
addicted to information, we're addicted to motivation, and it's like for the most part I don't think people lack motivation or information, they lack the implementation. So it's
Mm.
like just start, just do. If it's not fitness, it's like you want to start a business, go start a business. Like everyone looks at these guys, all these influencers, and I mean, you look at Elon Musk, you look at Donald Trump, and it's like they got their shit figured out. And it's like, no, they don't. Like Like you, me, Elon, Trump, especially Trump, it's like they probably have 60, 70% of it dialed in. The other 30%, it's like they're just winging it, right? Like it's just learn as you go kind of process. And so it's like you kind of have to fuck around to find out what you're capable of doing. And you can't do it if you never start. So you kind of have to just take that leap and start. And it's like if you want to start a business, go start a business. Figure out it's the same with fitness, right? Eat better, move more, be consistent. Like figure out whatever business you're doing, figure out those 3 to 5 drivers that you really need to like understand, and then go start. You're probably maybe too young for the game of on the playground back in the day when we were in elementary school. It was like this game of double dutch, right? You go out and play 3rd, 4th grade, and it's like double dutch jump rope. You go out and they'd be wielding these plastic hard ass beaded jump ropes around, and it's like you get over there and you're like, man, those things are gonna smack me in the face and it's gonna hurt like hell if I mistime this, right? And so you're standing there and you're like, you kind of go and then you hesitate, and then you kind of go and then you hesitate, and then you kind of go and then you hesitate. And it's like, and then some little savage girl in pigtails comes and pushes you out of the way and calls you a pussy and fucking takes your spot. And it's like, that's life. Like the people who hesitate are the people who get pushed out of the way, called a pussy, and get left on the sidelines. Mm-hmm. So I think if I can give any advice to the listeners listening, it's like the best life hack I can give you is do instantly what others do eventually. So if you can do instantly what others do eventually, like you can separate yourself from the competition immediately. Because as you're doing, they're still waiting. As you're doing, you're failing, you're learning, you're repositioning, and you're moving forward. And it's like you're moving forward, they're still standing still. It's like you're going to gain so much ground that there's no way they're going to catch you. Like Kobe Bryant. I mean, he would go in and practice 6 hours a day. And by the time people finally caught on what he was doing, he's like, they can come practice 6-8 hours a day. They're never going to catch me. I'm so far ahead of them. There's not one fucking person that can catch me. And I mean, it's true. Like they couldn't catch him. Anybody playing in his era was always 2 steps behind. And so that, like, just having that mindset of I'm going to do now what somebody's going to do eventually, like you will figure it out. You're going to grow past everything faster than anyone can try to catch you.
I'd like that quote, what you said, do instantly what others will do eventually. I thought that was a very powerful one. And also, I really never heard it like how you just described it with the information motivation continuum. And actually, you need to break out of that and get into the implementation period as well. Because I think that is a challenge. I've certainly been caught in it myself, not going to lie, where, you get caught with all the information.
Yeah, you get into it and you dive into it. And it's like, you think about it. It's like, man, I need another podcast. I need another book. I need another course. I need to go to another conference. And it's like really, when you think about it, it's like, well, okay, I spent $5,000 on the conference ticket. I bought my airfare. I bought my rental car, paid for the hotel stay. I get to the event early even so that I can get the best seat in the house. And it's like, when you really think about it, it's like, well, if you were motivated enough to do all of that, you're motivated enough, you don't need motivation. So just go do something, right? Like the whole thing should be, I sat down, I'm ready for the conference. Cool, I'm motivated. Let's get up and go. Let's go do something. Let's go take that chance. Let's go ask that girl. Let's go start that business. Whatever it is that you're planning on doing, like, do it, because you only get one life. You only get one life. And there's a whole lot of people that I see that half-ass their life. They half-ass their life at every fucking thing they do. I've got people, I go to the gym, like I've seen at the gym, same people for 10 years. It's like, never change, never get in better shape, never get any stronger, never get any leaner, never get any bigger. Just, they're there. And it's like, you look at them and you're like, well, I kind of wonder, are you the same guy? If you're half-assing it here, it's like you have to drive 20 to 30 minutes to get to the gym, to sit on a piece of equipment and scroll for 45 minutes looking for the right playlist, to take selfies of confirmation that you made it to the gym. And then you spend 2 hours walking around talking to anyone that will talk to you so that you can basically procrastinate the work that you went there to do to begin with. And it's like, are you that guy that does that shit at work? Like, are you the guy that goes to work, does just enough to not get fired, but never enough to get noticed, never get promoted? You go home, you're half-assing it with your family. You're doom scrolling bullshit stuff on social media, and your kids come over and ask you questions like, "Oh yeah, cool, that's nice, buddy." You're just half engaged, half not. Wife's asking you stuff, trying to like communicate with you, and you're just like, "Yeah, oh, look at this cool pictures of these monkeys." Like what the fuck are you doing? Like at the end of the day, what the fuck are you doing? Like it takes a special kind of fucked up to come home and be like, I got a hot ass wife. I got beautiful kids that we made together. And I'm going to come home and fucking ignore them. I'm going to half ass that. Like, be present, be engaged, fucking at whatever it is you're doing. If you're the janitor at Home Depot, be the best janitor that Home Depot's ever seen, because that guy eventually becomes the district manager. And like with construction, I do a lot with Home Depot. I do a lot with Lowe's. And it's like the separation between janitor and district manager is very fucking finite. Like the knowledge and the extent of like qualifications are like very minuscule. And so it's like I just don't get why people half-ass most of the shit that they do. If you're going to do it, go 100%, go all in, figure out what you're capable. Because I think worse than anything is like not knowing. Like you're sitting in the rocking chair a couple years from going into the ground, and it's like, man, I could have had a sweet life if I'd have asked that chick out. I could have started that business. I could have did this. I could have did that. Dude, why don't you? Why didn't you? Like that's worse than failure or anything else, is like all the regrets that you're left with at the end of the day.
Yeah.
To me, like that would be the most horrible feeling in the world, is sitting back like, I should have wrote that book. I should have gave that stage talk. I should have went up and did that comedy show. And these are things that I like doing. It's like, man, I don't want to not find out what I could have done, what my maximum potential was.
Yeah. You don't want the regrets. You may try stuff, it might not work out, but yeah, you learn or you move forward.
If it doesn't work, like I've failed, and that's the thing, is it's like most people that are successful have failed more times than they've succeeded. It just takes that one success to be like, oh shit, right? Like I was smart. And really it's like, it's not being smart. It's just doing the thing and being persistent in doing that thing. And if it doesn't work, it's like, find another thing.
Yeah. The important point you touched on there about failure, I feel for the listener, because a lot of us can like worry about failure. Oh my God, what if I fail? But you were talking about, people like Elon and like, those people were known to most people on the planet, and the amount of things you hear in their stories of things that went wrong, like not their way or set them back millions or whatever.
Like look at Elon. It's like, I don't even know, has he even had a successful space mission? Like, I mean, that right there should sum it up for you, that you're going to fail more than you're going to win. Like he's literally a rocket scientist putting rockets into space, and I don't know that he's actually made a successful up and back trip. Like, and everyone's like, oh, must be nice, you're a trillionaire, you got all your shit figured out, like you're a genius. It's just like he is, like, I mean, I'm not discrediting the guy. Like he is probably one of the smartest guys in the world, but it's like, even being that guy, you're still going to fail, and you have to be okay with that. Like you have to be okay with, I'm going to fail, but what am I going to learn from that failure? Like you can't just sit in it and dwell. It's like you the good, the bad, everything, like take the lesson, learn what you're going to learn from it, and then implement it.
Just taking the lessons from it.
Because it's like, it's being consistent, it's doing things repetitively, but more so than doing it repetitively, you have to also optimize that repetition. So, I mean, if you look at comedians, it's like before most comedians will put out their Netflix special or whatever, it's like they're touring for almost a full year doing the same material, that same 60 minutes of material they're doing on stage, and they're optimizing every time they're on stage. It's like, what if I tweak this word? What if I do this? What if I do that? Like the preparation that comes out of that 60 minutes is thousands of hours to optimize it to what it is when you see it in that special. So I think more people get caught up more in the end result than they get caught up in the actual doing of the thing that they're doing, which is the day-to-day stuff. And I think if you can learn to like the day-to-day stuff more than you actually care about what the result is, like it makes your life so much, not necessarily easier, but it just makes it more relevant to like this is what life is supposed to be, rather than life is supposed to be the shiny object waiting for me on the other side.
It's like a win each day. Can I win the day today? Can I do what I'm meant to today? Kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, what, I don't know. I mean, I can go back to like childhood. I've got little league trophies and basketball trophies. I've got rodeo belt buckles. I've got strongman trophies. I've a bodybuilding medal. And it's like, do you know where they're at? Because I have no fucking clue. I don't know if they're in the I don't know if they're in a box in the basement, if they're thrown in the trash. I have no idea where they're at. And it's like, to me, it was never really about the thing. It was about being who I basically became in doing that thing. So it was cool for 5 minutes to be like, hey, I won this, but it's not who I am. I don't put a trophy on my shoulder and walk to the office every morning and like, hey, look what I did, like I don't care, because it's over and now we do something else. Now we go on either more or on to the next thing. Like, what else can I do? And I think that should be everybody's goal, is like to be the best versions of them that they can be. I'm not necessarily saying that everybody has to be an entrepreneur or a business owner or be 5% shredded body fat percentage and just that guy. Like, I'm not saying that everybody wants that, but it's like, whatever it is that you want, whatever you're interested in, like, go after it and try to find out what you can be, find out what you're capable of.
Yeah, just getting out there. I was going to ask on that a little bit, like practically for the overthinkers. I'm talking to here. And I know we touched on a few things that kind of might likely to feed into this. But for an overthinker, someone who's maybe delays their execution and not sure if they're going in the right direction, how can they practically begin to work through there in your view?
I think if you're procrastinating, I think it's like a trust issue that you have kind of with yourself. I think you don't fully trust yourself. And so it's just setting yourself up for it. It's a weird concept, right? That you don't trust yourself, but think about all of the people that you do trust, right? Like, you get in with the Uber driver and you trust them to get you to your location unharmed and unraped, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird thing. Like, girls will get in, like, you'll have young girls that'll get in with an Uber driver. And it's like, I don't know if I'm going to come out of this thing alive, but we trust in that. We trust that the airlines are going to get us to where we're supposed to go without the unexpected cornfield. We trust that the government has our best interest in mind. We get on, carnival rides and trust that the crackhead that's running the ride has actually got our best interest in mind. He's actually going to get us back on the ground safe and sound, but we don't actually trust ourselves. A lot of people don't even trust ourselves at all. And it's just like, well, kind of, why would you? Like, you've been lying to yourself for a long time. Like, you wake up in the morning, man, I'm going to hit snooze. I'm going to sleep for another 30 minutes. I really need to get this thing done today. It can wait till tomorrow. We just do this negotiation process with ourselves to where subconsciously we don't trust ourselves. So I think in order to start trusting ourselves, it's like, just start stacking small little wins. Go to bed when you say you're going to go to bed. Wake up when you say you're going to wake up. Do the things that you need to do to win small little wins. So if we're kind of going to jump back into like the health and fitness aspect of it, it's like, to walk. If you walked, say, 15 minutes a time, 3 times a day, it's like, get up in the morning, grab your coffee, grab a water, walk 7.5 minutes one direction, then come back. In that time frame, it's morning. You're probably going to work, right? So turn the phone off. Don't listen to music. Don't scroll social media. Think in your head, like, what are the 2 or 3 main things that I have to get done today? What do I need to get done? And then that way, when you come back and you go to work, like, you can dive right into it and attack what you're supposed to do. Right now you have a plan before you get there, instead of getting there and wandering around for 45 minutes like an idiot. Like, God, what do I have to do? Like, you already know. You're there. You're in it. you're present, you're engaged, you're all in. Same thing, like go to lunch, eat lunch, take a 7.5 minute walk in one direction, come back, same thing. Did I accomplish what I needed to accomplish? What do I still have left to do? Am I ahead? If I'm ahead and I got everything done by noon, what can I get ahead for tomorrow? And then when you go home, it's like now you don't have to worry and stress about work. Now it's like same thing. Go home, be present with your family, eat dinner, go on a walk, take your family on a walk, tease, play with the kids, be present with your kids, be present with your wife. Like that 15 minutes of like fully engaged is going to mean more than 3 hours of doom scrolling and like half-ass attention. Like you're going to make an impact, and it's like those are just stacking like little simple basic wins.
Trusting yourself so that you don't get into that like hesitation with yourself for doing things.
Yeah, because it's like you did, if you go to work and do the same thing, I'm saying like, man, I screwed around for 3 or 4 hours because I really didn't want to do the thing that I needed to do. But now it's like, now I'm anxious. Now I'm nervous because I've got to have this thing ready by 9:30 in the morning, and I'm not going to have it ready. Or if I do get it ready, it's going to be half-assed and it's not going to be good. And so that's going through your head while you're supposed to be doing something else. And it's like, if you can just be present in the moment that you need to be present in and just move through simple basic wins, it's like it sets you up to be able to take that action, to take those bigger actions.
I've personally found when I've had like a challenging task, when I got into my early days of personal growth, there was the whole go and, maybe do a bit of meditation, a bit of mindfulness. But actually, do you know what built the most confidence for me and progress was actually doing the thing.
It's like you're avoiding the work, and it's like if you just the work really isn't that hard, right? Like
the
when
mind
you
goes
actually
crazy, right?
yeah, because it's like your mind's like, oh man, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be hard. I think when we very first started building homes and I started getting punch lists for like walkthroughs from clients, it's like I'd get these 20 or 30 item lists that they wanted like addressed or fixed, and it's like I'm looking at it like, what the fuck do I do with this, right? Like, holy shit, this is a lot, right? And then it's like, okay, we'll dumb it down. Like, let it sit for a minute, come back to it in an hour and dumb it down. Okay, well, this goes to the plumber, this goes to the HVAC guy, this goes to the electrician, this goes to the painter, this is mine. And pretty soon it's like, okay, well, everybody's got 2 or 3 things that they need to fix, and I've got 1 or 2 things that I need to fix. And so essentially this whole big thing that I was creating that was like a thing is now me making 4 phone calls, telling them, giving them the list, texting them the list on things that they need to do, and 2 things that I got to do that's going to take me 10 minutes to fix. You know what I mean? And it's like, but it's just, I think, like I said, overcomplicating things and like getting into that mindset of like, oh, I'm going to just put this off because it's so bombarding to me that it's too much, right? Like I'm just going to keep pushing it. Where, like you said, if you just do it, it wasn't really that hard to begin with,
I know the reason I brought that up because I've certainly been caught in it and coached people before through it and stuff, but there's a lot in sort of like the personal growth space, and then sort of like sometimes what's known as like the healing space of like I need to do more deeper work, but sometimes for me it just comes down to doing something challenging or moving forward at the end. It's not at the expense of doing the other things, sometimes things are really needed, deep work, all that kind of thing, but yeah, a lot of times I've noticed in my life, it's the mind trying to make excuses or distract from actually doing the thing. When, like you said, the 23 things, it was blowing it out of proportion. It was just, doing a few steps to move forward with that.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing with like fitness. Like if you can get used to doing hard physical stuff, like I know it sounds weird, but it's like you're going to grow physically, mentally, and emotionally while you're doing that hard thing. Like if you're lifting weights, if you're doing, hard, intense cardio, or like you're working through it. And it's like, it's hard at the time, but it's like when you get done with it, it's like, it really wasn't that hard. And so it's just stacking those wins, but it's like while you're growing physically, you're growing mentally and emotionally as well. So you're setting yourself up for, like you're saying, it's like now the work becomes something that's like, it's really not that hard. It may be hard for a minute, but it's not hard forever.
To get going. And I love the fact you've got like to reduce like any complexity, any like overthinking, you've built an app that's just making it so simple to start, and then that's going to pour into people's other areas of people's lives you've created?
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's just for me, everything that I've done, like anytime I've tried to overcomplicate things or make things seem more than they actually are, it always gets overwhelming. It always is like, well, shit, now what, right? Where then it's just like, if you can strip away everything to the nuts and bolts, like it's just these handful of things. Okay, well, that's a lot easier, right? So I've always just been, like I said, for me, it's work to just strip everything down to the dumbest form and work from there. And there are stuff that it's like there's complex things that you actually do have to sit down sometimes and think through, but 95% of the time it's like you can dumb it down to its simplest form, solve the problem, and move on with your life.
100%. I think that's a really powerful message to the listener to kind of start to wrap things up with. Brock, I know you've obviously got your app. I know you're out there helping people. I'd love to know where is the best place for people to grab the app or get hold of you, find out more about your work. And is there maybe something you'd like to leave us with as a final point today?
So go to brockholyoak.com. I've got news articles there. I've got a book that we're going to be launching first part of August. It's called Unfuck Yourself. It's just kind of my head on like how I view the world as far as mindset, as far as accountability. It's just kind of like everything that I've done and kind of how my mind works all into one book. Little different version of motivation than the traditional hoorah speeches. It's kind of my blue collar gritty style with an unapologetic humor and some really vivid graphic storytelling to kind of get the point across. And so if you're interested in that, you can go find the book there. You can find, if you're interested, I do speaking engagements. So if you want to book, you can go on to brockholyoak.com and book us there. Newfit.me is the fitness app. You can find us there. We're doing a pre-launch offer. I think the app is set to launch the first part of August as well. So with the fitness app, it's a $2.99 download and 99 cents a month. If you get on the pre-launch list, we are doing a free 30-day download, 99 cents a month, and then we lock that price for life. So obviously apps, cost money to do whatever, but it's like if you're on that pre-launch list, you'll be locked at that pricing for lifetime. With the book, the pre-launch that we're doing with that, we're doing an ebook, an audiobook, and a hard copy. So you'll get all three. With the pre-launch, you'll get a signed hard copy, and you'll get put into a drawing for a free coaching or consultation as well. And I think to leave you on a good note, I just like go be the very best version you can be. Fuck around to find out, like truly fuck around to find out what you're actually capable of, because you've only got one of these things. And so worrying about looking like an idiot, looking like you're not smart, failing, like that's all bullshit. Just worrying about what people think of you. Just go do the thing that you want to do. No apologies. Like be yourself 100% unapologetically and go be the best version of you can.
I love that. Be you. 100%. So Brock's links are going to be in the show notes below for his amazing app, for the book, for all the work he's mentioned there. So go into the show notes below this episode to get hold of Brock's amazing work. And Brock, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing some very inspirational and actionable bits of guidance for our listeners today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I've got a podcast that we're actually rolling out, me and a friend that I went to school with. It's called Accidentally Qualified. We both kind of come from the no college background. So it's like it's just like we just kind of fumble fuck through life to get to where we're at. And it's like, I think it'll be kind of life lessons and all of the scars and pains and costly mistakes that we've went through to get to where we're at. And so I would like to invite you on, if you have time sometime in the future, to come on the podcast. And I think it would be a pretty good podcast for us to interview you and kind of see how your mind works.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. No, thank you, Brock. I appreciate that. Yeah, keep an eye out for Brock's for that podcast as well. So thank you, Brock, for the invitation and for everything you've shared today. It's been a pleasure talking to you. So
You too.
that's our conversation today. So that concludes our episode for today. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.